guest. I'm so excited. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Okay. Yay! Well, welcome back. We're so excited that you guys are here with Market Moments again. We're having so much fun recording. I'm having a blast. Are you having fun?
I'm having fun.
Okay. We're so excited. Again, as always, please make sure that you put your comments down below. Let us know what you like, don't like, suggestions, all that good stuff.
Like, follow, subscribe, do all the things.
All the things you're supposed to do. We don't even need to say that. Just your comments are really important, though, honestly, because we look at that to like gauge like what do you guys really want more from us, and that's what we're going to cater to. So
yeah. Or like, do we need to go back and revisit a topic because maybe we didn't cover enough stuff?
Yes. Or you're skilled on this topic and you want to offer some suggestions, or you want to just jump on and be a guest with us. Yeah. So comment. Let us know what's going on with y'all and what you want more from us. So I'm super excited. So we do have a guest today. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi. I'm Vanessa. I am the business partner of Monique here.
Nice. So the reason why we have a guest on today is because we are going to talk about a topic that, for me, well, let me see. I've been very tight-lipped on my end about, and people are nosy, and everybody asks. So today we're going to be talking about business partners. How do you know it's a good one? When do you decide to cut ties? All that good stuff. So we're going to cover that today. So that's why we brought on Vanessa, who is a business partner and has experience with this. So, yeah, what are your thoughts, Mo?
So it's easier. It should be easier.
I say it can be easier.
It should be easier to have a business partner than to run a business by yourself. I did my own craft show, my own crafting business for a long time, many years ago, by myself, and I could do it, but it is difficult. So I would definitely say if you're looking to go into business with someone, if you're looking to get a business partner, you want someone who's actually going to like help. Someone who's going to take on some of the burden of the business, because there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just setting up and tearing down at the markets. There's also you're making your stuff, you're promoting, there's marketing, there's taxes, there's paperwork, there's
finances.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it that you need to make sure that everybody's contributing.
Pearl's saying hi, guys. She's like, what are you doing here, Vanessa?
Right.
I'm vibing.
She runs away like the rest of the time.
Yeah. Everybody knows our resident. Pearl and Lucky are pretty much the only ones that show their faces, but those are our mascots. So, yeah. So having a partner can definitely be helpful. Yep. Absolutely. It can also be harmful too. I'm not gonna lie. And so that's I think we're gonna cover both sides. So. Why don't you guys share like a little bit like why did you decide to go into business together? Kind of like give us a story.
So I think it kind of coincided. Both of our lives took like wild turns kind of at the same time.
Yeah.
For me, I had gotten laid off of my job, and I had been spending all this time working on a computer science degree, and I got laid off. So I was like, cool, I can finish my degree, devote time to that, and then go find a job. And then when I was done, all these tech companies did massive layoffs. So suddenly the market is just flooded with people looking for jobs in tech, and all these people with tons and tons of years of experience. And here I am, a fresh graduate with very little experience to offer, and it was suddenly a market that I couldn't exist in.
Yeah. That's hard.
So I was my unemployment was running out, my severance was running out, and I was like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah.
And
then so I got cancer, and I was recovering and in remission and trying to figure out what am I going to do for a job with my limited availability, with still 5,000 doctor's appointments and limited physical availability because I'm recovering from cancer. So we came up with a business idea.
Yeah, I mean, we were I think it was kind of funny because we were just sitting around at night. Honestly, this is an adult podcast, so if you want to hear about illicit substances, you shouldn't be listening to this adult podcast.
There you go.
we were hanging out and we were getting high, And
I didn't even know you got high.
Yeah,
oh,
she
how
does.
funny. Okay.
Yeah, not often.
I'm
but sometimes
learning.
I do. So, and we were just talking, and then we were like, honestly, we were being catty and talking shit about some people, and we were like,
Nice.
You know what? We could do our own business. I used to do it. I ran my own business, and it was good. And the only reason I shut it down was because my ex-husband was being a dick at the time.
Yeah, there you go.
And I was like, we can do this. And Vanessa was like, yeah, we can do this. What are we going to do? Because you're the crafty one. And I was like, okay. And then so we just started, like, looking into things.
I love it.
And it's funny, because I think I mentioned it before, that we kind of fell into the bookstore thing by accident. But we started deciding to make laser design products, right? And so we started with making, like, bookmarks and keychains and all these little things. And then to go with the bookmarks, we were like, let's make Blind Date with the Books. And we thought this was just going to be, like, a little, like
a small,
like
little,
a small
this
little,
is cute.
Look at
like,
this is cute. Yeah. But then it became, like, the bestseller of our business.
It took off.
Yeah, and Vanessa, and after a while, so we kept doing more and more, and Vanessa was like, why don't we just be a bookstore? And I was like, I don't know, like, our bookstore's really a thing anymore. And she was like, I really think we should do it. And then, like, a couple weeks later, I was like, you know what, you're right, we should just do it. You're right, let's do it. So we took the dive in, and we just became a full bookstore, and we've been going since.
Yeah.
So I guess the moral of the story is sometimes getting high is okay.
Look, sometimes you gotta take those high ideas and just run with them.
Right? Inspires creative thoughts.
I love it. I love it. That's funny. No, so that's so true. It's just like, okay, like it's funny because, like, I'll talk to, like, my bestie who, like, we're not in business together. She's just my bestie. Like, I will say though, spoiler alert, like, her and I have our own podcast coming out soon. It is not anything like this. It's a whole lot of shit talking and just nonsense, but that's something that we say all the time. Like, I'm like, bro, instead of selling our toes, why don't we just sell like our toe picks? You know what I mean? We can just sell like ourselves, like, and our voice better, right? So it's like the ideas of like, okay, what can we do to, I can do better than that. I can do something better than that, and that's what happened with you guys. And oh my gosh, look at now, like, amazing. I love that. Let me ask you a question, and don't worry, guys, if you're listening, if you only tuned in because you want to hear this shit that I'm gonna say, it's coming, okay? It's coming, but let's talk the good first. You know what I mean? So, how do you guys navigate if there's any, like, struggles between, like, ideas or what you want to do, or, like, say which market you're gonna go to, or, like, what, you know what I mean? How do you guys navigate that? Because that's a hard one with business partners, right? If two people own a business, like,
really have conflicts.
Oh, that's
honestly,
good.
because her and I just we talk all the time.
Yeah,
and then
like, we talk every day.
Yeah, we rationally lay out things like, oh, do you want to do this market again, or it was crap,
that makes
and
sense.
we don't want to do it, then we don't.
Yeah. And I think we very rarely have disagreements on which way to go with the business too. Yeah. Like, and on the rare occasions we've been like, okay, let's lay it out. What do you think? What do I think?
Yeah.
And then kind of go from there,
We problem solve, we work it. We haven't really had any...
That's good. That's really good.
And I think part of, again, what's going into business is the idea is to help each other. Like, like there was a time last year when Nessa was having some issues. She was having some family drama, and she had to take a step back. So I did it by myself for a good solid month. Because she just couldn't, and there's no resentment in that, because that's the point of having a business partner, Yeah. And it was just like another example where, on a smaller scale, I had a friend reach out and she wanted to do something, and I was like, oh, we already have a market that day, and Vanessa was like, why don't you just go? She's like, you've covered for me before. I can do this on my own. We'll call a couple helpers in and
just do it.
And just do it. Yeah, and that's the whole point. It's a give and take.
That's how it should be. That is exactly how it should be.
Exactly, because we're both trying to help each other. Like, we both want our businesses to succeed. We both want to be independent and do a thing and get where our dreams want to take us. And the only way to do that is to help and support each other.
And partnerships not 50-50. Sometimes it's 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. It's not always just divide everything evenly.
And I think we each have our own, like, strengths and weaknesses. Like, and a funny thing is, I don't think Vanessa realized how creative she was until she started doing this. And then she kept throwing ideas at me, and I was like, hey, these are good ideas. And, like, she she's kind of good at that, but she didn't have like the craft to do it, right? She was never a knitter. Yeah. She was never like a scrapbook or anything like that. Yeah, no. But now,
hell no.
I became a crafter.
Yeah, but she did. Yeah, so now you've gotten into like resin work. You've helped with like sticker designs. You know, you've come up with a lot of concepts that we've been able to like work and turn into like good like things, products for our business.
Well, it's about communication too, a lot of it.
But it sounds like a balance, right? So, because I know you said like, oh, it's not always 50-50, like sometimes it's 40-70 or whatever, like, which is true, but it shouldn't always be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shouldn't always be that way. So if it's like 70-30, then the next time it's 30-70, like, you know, that balances it out. So it may not be 50-50, but it's not going to be like
it's not like
it's not uneven all the time, right? So yeah, that's what you want to make sure with a business partner, that's what you have going on. Get your tea out, Vicious.
We got a good example. Now Nikki's going to give us a bad example.
So this is what a business partner should look like. This is how it should function, right? And I understand in business that you're going to have different ideas and different like ways of wanting to do things. But I think the thing that you guys touched on, which is crucial, is that the vision is the same as far as what the goal is.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and the goal is we want to get here. And then we may have different ideas on how to get there, but the goal is the same and the vision is the same. And that's crucial when you're getting with a business partner. So the question I get asked literally all the time, even though it's been an entire year since I separated from my business partner and have been just Best Buy Market, it's been a year now, I still get asked all the time, like, what happened? What happened? What happened? So
what happened?
So here's what happened.
Which is funny because I never even knew Nikki had a business partner. When I met Nikki, she'd already gone solo.
Yes.
So then like a few months later, I heard people asking about the drama and I was like, what?
You're like, what? I didn't know that. Yeah, so some people who started with me after, like, they really don't know. But again, the vending community, it's a small community, so we all talk, everybody knows each other, whatever. So even people who, like, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but like people who I didn't realize were like working with my old business partner, were asking me questions when they started to come to me, and I was like, that's kind of odd, like, because I didn't know that, because I'll say for me, my business partner ended on a very bad note, very bad. And to the point where not even gonna try to hide or deny it. Like, they're blocked on social media because I just, for my sanity and my peace of mind, it was just easier that way. So mine ended on a bad note. I didn't want it to end that way. And I think that's a hard thing, because I know you two have a really good friendship, and I think so. That's what I thought I had in my business partner, but then immediately once the business was ended, there was no friendship, and I was like, okay, so then you start to see true colors, basically. So I started the very first market I hosted. I was vending at another event, and the lady who owned the gym was like, Nikki, how come you don't host? Like, I think you'd be really good at this. And she was talking to me, and then my old business partner like just walked up and was like listening to the conversation, and then I was like, that would be great, like, yeah, I'll try hosting here, because she even said like, come do it here, like, you can use my space, whatever. And I was like, that'd be great, like, yeah, I'll do it. And then my old business partner was like, oh my gosh, that would be so fun, I'll help you. And I was just like, okay, like, I was kind of stunned, like, oh, okay, like, you know, I didn't even, like, because I had known her, but only briefly, like, just from vending at other places together. And so that's how it started. Like, it wasn't necessarily like, hey, we're going to go into business and this is what we're going to do. It was just kind of like, okay, that sounds good. And then it just kind of happened, right? Now, I have always, when, and I'll say the name Tracy at Active 7 Fitness, thank you for putting me on this path. You know what I mean? But when she asked me that, and when I went home that night and I was thinking about it, like, and even I've talked to Louie about it, I was like, you know, my whole thing is like, I wanted to make something different. I wanted my markets to be different. I didn't want it to just be like the same pop-up. Like, I was going to events where people were like, you know, like, you would get talked to rude in DMs, like, be like, just read, you know, just read the application. Just, you know what I mean? I'm like, I just didn't like that. It just felt ugly. Oh, yeah. So I've always had in me, my vision in doing this was always about, like, how can I change the game and, like, make people feel welcome and invited and like they're a part of the market, not just me you know what I mean? Like, that was always been kind of my vision in doing it. And so, you know, as we continue to fuck it. So basically, I'm really good at social media. I give myself I do a lot of research. That's the thing, is this is my business, and so therefore I'm going to invest in it, and I'm going to do whatever I need to like make sure that it's good. Yeah. So I'm really good at social media. I'm very good at making flyers. I'm good at advertising, like, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. I mean, I guess kind of, but I mean, whatever. Like, I just know my skill sets, right? These are my skills. I'm good at that. My business partner had none of that. Even said, like, yeah, I suck at all this. Like, yeah, I'm not good at any of this. Oh. So basically, I was doing all of that, right? All the behind the scenes. We both were, you know, well, no, I'm not going to put her stuff out there. But basically, I don't work because of my disability. God, that's the first time I've said that out loud, like, my disability. But whatever. It is what it is. It's true.
You do work. You don't work a traditional job.
I don't work a traditional job. Exactly. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I need to remember that because I forget that.
Because I
put a lot of work.
Yeah.
I work harder than I work at a traditional job doing this, but it's not a laboring job, physical job. So, So you know, the circumstances were there that I was able to put in that time, you know, from home to, like, do all of that. I mean, growing the social media, all that stuff, like, it takes a lot of time and a lot of work. And so I was doing all of that, and literally the only help that I was getting from my business partner was on the event day, like, setting up. And even then, like, this is all the tea you guys wanted, here you go. Even then, like, it was about, we were going to do this and then still be able to sell our product to make extra money, because I don't have an income. Yeah. This is my only income, and, you know, we needed money. And so my thing was, like, I don't want to charge people a lot of money because we're new. If we don't have a lot of guests, like, coming, I'm not going to charge vendors $100 to come, and I don't even know how many. I've always been very big on, that's my mission, is, like, I want people to afford to be able to come, you know? And if I can't produce the turnout for you, then how am I going to charge you that kind of money? That's just my belief.
And we wouldn't come back. Like, there have been markets where we've been charged a lot, and it was a bad market. No advertising, no nothing.
Yeah. So that's just been my belief. Is like, okay, we need to charge a reasonable rate. You know, yes, we do have to make money, but you also, like, I don't know, you also need to be able to produce, right? And so it came down to, like, at the end of the day, it came down to, I was running the social media. Yes, they attempted to help, but every time they did it, they made it worse, and I had to go and, like, fix things and edit things, and it was just annoying because I was doing double the work rather than me just do it on my own. So it got to a point where I created a sheet and said, this is what I'm in charge of, and this is what you're in charge of. And we were supposed to still sell our products at the events, and that was, like, how we were going to make more money. I hired somebody to come work my booth for me because they were supposed to watch my stuff, and they never did. Like, at the markets, anyone who comes to my markets knows I wander around. I'm constantly walking around, checking on people. How you doing? What's going on? That's just that's just me. My business partner was not that way. They just stayed in their booth to sell their product, and my product was left empty. So I ended up having to hire somebody, paying them to come to my market to sit at my booth, so I could still walk around and represent our business. While it was nowhere near equal ever. So I created a sheet and was like, these are your duties, these are my duties. And then towards so we started in July. By October, I was already frustrated. I never said anything because I'm the type of person that, like, I always have to, like, look at everything first, and then I need to make sure, like, I'm not just tripping. Like, I'm really big on, like, making sure I'm not tripping, you know? And so by October, I was already frustrated. By November, I was already ready to call it quits. I was already done. Like, just done. Because I was doing all the work, the flyers out in the community, all that stuff. It's a lot of work, you know? And, talking over with, like, my close friends and everything, I was like, you know, I don't know. One of my friends, she's our photographer, Victoria, shout out, love you, girl. She's like, girl, you're Beyonce, you don't need Destiny's Child. And I was like, I love you, but it was true. It was true, and because, you know, she would see, and, like, Louis would see, and I was just like, You know, it came down, the deciding factor was for me when I sat down and like wrote out like who does what. I'm like, the list was like this for them and like this for me. And I was like, this is not fair.
Yeah. No.
This is not fair. And then they always wanted to just increase the price. And I'm like, I get it. Yes, increasing because we need money. Like, I get that. But at the same time, you have to think about like big picture, like long run. This is not a short term thing for me. This is something I want. I want this to be my legacy. I want my grandkids to take over Best Buy one day. Like, that's what I want to build something that's sustainable, that's, you know, that's.
Well, and like you see markets where they don't care about vendors,
Yes.
and they run through vendors.
Yep.
They, you know, people don't go back. Like
Yeah.
if you're not a good market organizer, and it's obvious that all you care about is making money, vendors are not going to go back.
Yep.
They're
going
to
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna
that
tell.
one.
Yeah, they're gonna tell their other vendor friends like, hey, don't bother with this market because it sucks. Like, there's some markets that I've never done and never will do because other vendors have told me, hey, don't do this one.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. The organizers are mean and rude because, some of these organizers are...
They're horrible.
I don't understand. I just never understood that.
Yeah, like I'm not going to pay you to swear at me. No.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? No. Okay.
I have cursed, I'm not gonna lie, I swear, but not like at you.
Yeah.
Like, I swear and like, what the fuck? Like, funny stuff, not like.
It's one thing to be like, what the fuck? It's another thing to be like, look, bitch.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, no.
Or just, oh my god, it really bothered me because I would read our DMs because they had access to the social media as well, and I would be like, why are you answering that way? Mm-hmm. Like, it's in our application, go back and read it. No, don't say that.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like, that, like, I get it as an organizer, because sometimes I want to say that shit, like, bro, it's literally everything's listed for you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's not that hard to say, like, this is what it is. If you have any questions, let me know.
Part of your job is customer service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not part of. I say, like, a big chunk of it is customer service.
Yeah. Fair.
There is no Best Buy without you guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There isn't. Mm-hmm. And any organizer who doesn't see that, you will. If you continue to do, that's all I'm going to say, you will at some point. Because there is no me without you. Mm-hmm. I can't run an event without vendors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't, right? So I'm like, I don't know. That's just my beliefs, but, you know, I'm not always right, but a lot of times I am. But I'm just like, it was just looking at the list and everything, and then, you know, the deciding factor was I was nervous. My fear was, that I didn't want to lose that friendship, because we had a lot in common, and it was nice to talk to somebody who had stuff in common with me. Yeah. You know, so I was like, that was really cool to have somebody who understood exactly what I was going through. Mm-hmm. And so I was really worried about losing the friendship, like really worried about it, because I thought that we had like a deeper connection than just hosting markets together. Mm-hmm. And then I was worried about what the vendors would think. Yeah. That was my big thing. So it took me, so we started in July, we hosted our first market in July. October, I was already like on the fence, and people could tell too. I didn't know until after the fact, because some vendors told me like after the fact, like, we always wondered why you guys were partners, because they didn't even know that there was a partnership, because all they'd see at markets was me. Yeah. She was there every time, but all they saw the interaction, and even social media. You can go back and look at those social medias. Like it's. They thought that it was me. They didn't know that it was a partnership. Yeah. But I asked a few of the vendors that I trusted, that I was like, look, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Like, how is that going to affect you, like, as a vendor if I do separate and go on my own? And their response was like, thank God it's about time. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not the only one that's been feeling that, because everybody could see that it wasn't fair. Yeah. It wasn't fair. So I'm doing 80% of the work for 50% of the income. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, it wasn't mathing. You know what I mean? I don't know how girl math you want to do it. It wasn't mathing. So it was, it was hard though. It was hard. Yeah. So I think in November, the end of November, beginning of December is when I say they because it was her and her wife. Mm-hmm. And so I say they because it was two of them, and then, you know, it was me. They said, you know, it seems like you're doing the majority of the work. Like, how are you feeling with this? And that was my opening. Yeah. That's when I was able to say, this is how I'm feeling with it. I had sat with it for months already, and like, how was I going to process it? What was I going to do? Because this is, you know, essentially this is the breakup of the partnership.
Yeah.
And, you know, I said, look, this is how I feel. I honestly don't want to do this anymore. My vision has always been to help the community, do what I can to help vendors. Like, yes, I need to make money, but it's not just about money for me. And if I'm doing all the work, I'd rather just do it on my own, you know? And that was that. It was really that simple. I said, the thing is I'm afraid to branch out because I'm afraid of losing our friendship. Because that's my fear, is that we're going to lose this friendship, and that that there's going to be, you know, any kind of resentments or bitterness or anything like that. And I was told, like, no, we definitely understand, like, you know, that's not going to happen. Our friendship's stronger than that, whatever, blah, 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 all this stuff. And then, and of course it wasn't, right?
Yeah.
So we had some events already scheduled for January and February. And I ended up telling her, like, I'm not going to... I did the January one. She didn't show up for the January one. I did that one on my own. And then February, I told her, like, you guys can just take that one over. Like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And that's when I did my own. So there was a lot of shadiness that happened in between. Like, I won't spell all of it, but, like, the truth is, it was like, well, you know, we did this and got this venue. Well, then take your venue then. Like, take it. Because I was like... You know what I mean? Like, at that point, like, I don't give a shit anymore. Yeah. Take your venue, like, you know, do you, boo. Like, I got my own. And I see, because I know that this person still hosts events as well. And I see, like, they have not done anything. Like, I can see the growth in Best Vibe and what I've done and what I'm continuing to do versus, like, what they're doing, and I'm like, and it's the same shit. Yeah. It's the same shit. There's no nothing. Like, it's, you know, and not to say whatever, I think I'm more bitter. I'm not more bitter. I'm upset that what I thought was a friendship wasn't. Yeah. That's what got me. I don't care about the events, like, whatever. I'm gonna do me always. And will I ever have a partner again? No. Because it didn't make...
It didn't end well.
It didn't end well. So there's no point in me having a partner. I have a board of directors because I'm a nonprofit, you know, and they have my best interests at heart. They have Best Vibe Market interests at heart. So they're doing what they can for Best Vibe, but I'll never have a partner again. Yeah. Because for me, it went wrong. It was ugly. Yeah. It was ugly. And then vendors asking, like, oh, what happened? And I was like, I didn't realize that they were just trying to get the dirt to here. Like, so they could go back and say it. But it's like, I've never said anything negative. No. I've never said anything negative. This is the first time I've actually even, like, talked about what actually happened. All I've ever said was, like, you know, it didn't work out because if I'm doing more work for less pay, it just doesn't make sense, you know? And that's all I've ever said about it. So there's the whole tea. There's obviously more, but I'm not about, like,
airing people's dirty.
No, that's not cool. Like, that's not what it's about. But if we're talking about having a business partner that's going to function, this is what it looks like, right? Yeah. Being able to talk and communicate and, like, work through things, and, you know, and if it doesn't, sharing the load. I guess that's the big one, sharing the load. Yeah. What do you think?
It is. It's a lot of give and take and whatnot, and sharing the load and saying, I need help, or we should do this and whatnot. We communicate about everything.
Yeah.
Well, and feeling like you have someone you can rely on. If you feel like you can't rely on this person, then do not go into business with them.
Yes.
100%. If you can't rely on your partner, if something happens, whatnot, then don't do business with them.
Yeah. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, that's what you have to look at. Like, it's your brand, you know? So, and if you're in business for yourself, you are your brand. Yep. If you didn't know that, you do now. Yeah. You are your brand, you know? So it's what you do with your brand, how you present yourself. Like, that's what people are seeing. Yep. You know? Yep. So, yeah, it's really important that you do, like, make sure that you know what you're doing when you're deciding to go into business with somebody. Not to say anything is, like, wrong. I think having business partners is great. I wish I had, you know, somebody that I could rely on as a partner to, like, do the things. But now I have, like, I mean, whatever, like, Monique does, like, our website, right? So, like, now I as a organizer, I don't have a partner, but I have, I guess, employees would be the right word. Like, you know, I have support staff now, you know, so it's like I don't have a partner. Like, I get to, I get to function how I've always wanted Best Vibe to function, but I have people to support me.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the most important piece when you're running a business, is that you have that support.
Yeah.
You know, so it may not be a partner, but it comes in you know, having the support. And like I said, those vendors that I asked were like, about damn time. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize that it was just me feeling that. And I guess that's the other thing, is like, you know, don't be afraid to take a leap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, that's how we started.
Yeah.
Like,
You're all like,
Yeah.
hey, let's do this.
kind of, yeah. And then the next day we were like, you know what? Actually, yeah, let's
what did
do
we
It
it.
can
do?
work. Like,
Yeah.
No, how do we do this? Yeah.
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 You know, sometimes you just gotta take that leap. You gotta believe in yourself. You know, and sometimes the other nice thing about having a business partner is something you need to push.
Yeah.
Like I said, when Vanessa said, let's jump in and be a bookstore, I was real, like, nervous. I was like, ooh, I don't know, books, like, is that viable? And she was like, no, I think we can do it. I think we can do it. And I needed that push, because I don't know if I would have got there on my own.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's the other side of having a business partner, is
Yeah.
to have someone to, like, be like, no, we can do this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And also someone to, like, rein you back. Because every now and then it's like, yeah, that's a little too much.
Yeah.
Let's pull it back in. Let's not do anything too crazy, you know?
I hear that a lot from my support people. Nikki, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
The problem is when you're creative,
Yes. No.
your brain it's
constantly going.
constantly
Yes.
going.
Yeah.
Literally all the time. It's just thinking, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really easy to run off with something.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
I got Louis texted me last night with a picture of what's in my cart, on my Amazon cart. He said, what the fuck? I said, it's only there for window shopping, don't worry.
Okay, we do that all the time.
Yeah.
We have a shared Amazon business account. And sometimes we'll message each other like, what the fuck? And it's like, look, I was just thinking
Like,
about
I'm just
something.
thinking about it. It doesn't mean I'm
Do
actually
I need
doing
to
it.
Are we buying this right now?
Just hit save for later.
Okay. Like, because we need supplies.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like, I think like, oh, this will be great,
Yeah.
and then I find it, and then I put it in the cart just so I
Yeah.
have it, so I don't lose it.
Yeah.
He was like,
do
"We're
that
not-
a lot."
We are not
Yeah.
doing that. And I'm like, look, hey, there's no we, it's me. No, I'm just kidding.
Louis is gonna be like, I quit.
He can't quit. He's the VP. He can't quit.
Yeah, he's stuck now.
He might get voted out at some point, but he can't quit. Yes. So I don't know. Yeah, everybody who's been looking for the tea, there you go. You got some of it today. You know, like, and again, it's not anything personal. Like, I have no ill like feelings or anything like that. I'll say the main reason I blocked people from my social media pages is because everything that I was doing, the next day they're posting the same thing, and it was getting hella annoying. Like, because I try to be very creative and unique with my ideas. Like, yeah, some of it is like everybody else is doing it, but a lot of my stuff, you know, is like, bro, like, I've been doing that forever, now all of a sudden you're doing it, like,
Yeah.
okay. You know, so it was just too much. It was making me feel uncomfortable. So that's, you know, the main reason why I'm like, yeah, I just don't even want to see it anymore. So
Yeah.
I have no ill feelings. I have no, like, you know, there's no resentment. I've worked through all of that. It's been a year already, you know. I've worked through all of that, and I've met some amazing people since then, you know, that have really, like, see the value in what we're doing with Best Vibe, you know. So even if you don't have a business partner, get that support in place, because that's crucial.
Yeah.
You know, it's great to have a business partner that works. That's amazing. I see it happen a lot with a lot of people, and I think it's fantastic. But if you don't have that, if you're like me and you don't have that, just get a support system.
Yep.
You know, get others who will say like, hey, that's a good idea, like, let's do this, or have you thought about trying this, you know. And yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. You guys let us know what you think. Have you had bad business partners before?
Right.
Do you have any tea you want to share? Go for it.
Let us know.
Let us know.
We're gonna read the
Let us
comments.
know. Yes, we're definitely reading the comments. So I'm like, I go in the comment section like, like, did you see this shit? No. Yeah. So let us know your guys' thoughts. If you've had good experiences, bad experience, whatever it is, or if you have any other follow-up questions, because you know, again, this is the first time that I've talked about it, but it's not going to be the last time. But don't ask questions like, oh, what, like, nah, we're not doing that. We don't do personal petty shit here. Yeah, we don't do none of that.
Yeah, we're not trying to start drama.
No, we are no dramas here, please. This is hello vibes only. Thank you very much. We just be vibing here. Just smoke a little weed, vibe a little bit.
There we go.
Maybe start a new business.
You guys are, by the time this episode comes out, we're all gonna have new businesses going.
I love my side hustle.
Right, my side hustle is gonna be. I love it. I love it. Best Vibe is only going to do Best Vibe right now. It's all I can maintain at this point.
There we go.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm excited. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It was a perfect episode for you to jump in on.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. If anyone else wants to join us, like, we would love to have guests
Message us, shoot us a DM.
Yeah. Let us know what you want to talk about, because that's also important, too, because, again, we're not here. Like, our goal with this podcast is to help, like, share our knowledge and help offer support and talk about the, like, nitty-gritty behind-the-scenes stuff that happens as a vendor and a market organizer. Yep. So, because there's a lot. There's a lot. So, yeah, I don't have anything else today.
We're good.
We're good. Bye. See you in the next one.